Everyone good to go that should be good to go?
Yes, sir.
In your time, both as Lakers player, Clippers coach, what have you learned about the Lakers Clippers rivalry over the years?
I haven't learned much. When I played for the Lakers, that was 25 years ago. So everything's different. So I really don't, I recall the biggest thing I recall is Shaq having, I think, 63 points versus the Clippers on his birthday. But outside of that, I really haven't had a long time to experience it.
Thanks. Go to Justin Russo.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. You've been pretty open with us about the strategies that you have going into games and how you want to defend certain guys. What can you tell us about the game plan tonight when it comes to trying to upset the timing and rhythm of Anthony Davis?
Just double teaming him as much as we can, making him play in the crowd. He's too good offensively, just let him play one-on-one, and we know that. So we want to mix up coverages, try to front him sometimes come and double team, sometimes put our center on him a little bit. So we're going to mix it up, want to bring a physicality and try to keep him off his sweet spot, but also guys being in shrinks, shrinking the floor and making sure he doesn't have a lot of driving seams, when he's on the post-ups.
Let's take BT.
Happy belated birthday, Coach Lue.
Thanks, Broderick.
Hey, look, with so many guys in and out of your lineup and COVID being what it is this season, how have you been able to put in your offense for the playoffs that are coming up?
Really, we scaled back a lot, BT. A lot of things we wanted to add going forward, but with the addition of Rondo late in the season, with the addition of Cousins, who's in the rotation, we got to scale back to make sure those guys catch up. And we have a good enough team offensively that we been building the right habits all year. 6-7 months of just trusting the pass, getting to the paint, drive, kick, swing. Teams double teaming. What we're supposed to do. Post ups when they double team Kawhi, getting to our spacing. So you can really simplify the offense with this team because you have 9 guys that shoot over 40%. So you can simplify the offense, put the ball in Rondo, PG, Kawhi's hands and let those guys make the right play and right pass and then just kind of play from there. So we want to make sure we just simplify as much as possible for Cousins and Rondo right now. When we go into the playoffs, these guys can play without thinking.
Thanks, BT. We'll go over to Andrew.
Hey, Ty, I hope you're doing well. I have 2 for you. One is just Lakers are down a number of ball handlers tonight. I guess you have the luxury of having a pretty full backcourt. How do you can you guys make life difficult beyond already what it is for the Lakers for those ball handlers tonight?
Just try to put pressure on as much as we can, getting up the floor, with Pat, with Reggie, with Rondo, try to disrupt as much as possible. But that means it's going to be a steady dose of AD, which, you don't want a lot of. So we got to mix things up with AD, just make sure we keep him, try to keep him off balance as much as possible. Like I said, Coach Vogel's a good coach. So, he'll figure it out, what they need to run and how they need to get into their offense and who they need to play through.
And then you just talked about, during this last stretch run about really wanting your guys to be rested and ready. But it seems like there's some obstacles maybe where you only have a few opportunities left to really test out these rotations like you've wanted. And then with the West seeding still so much up in the air, I guess, how do you envision balancing trying to feel comfortable with the rest guys have, but also with the lineups that you kind of haven't seen yet?
Yeah, it's a tough balance. We're going to listen to our medical staff, our sports science guys, and just listen to our players and see how their body is feeling. The most important thing for us, like I said, is health. Trying to get into the playoffs healthy and, just kind of go from there.
Thanks, Ty.
Thanks. Go over to Dan.
Hey, Ty, you guys have so many point guards. The Lakers have none. You're not willing to loan them one tonight, are you?
No, they don't need much help. They're the champs. They still have a championship DNA. They play that way. And like I said, just, Coach Vogel was in the same situation we've been in. And, when AD and Brown was out, just kind of, finding ways to win with that team, playing a different style of basketball. And now just figuring out how to, implement his guys back in with AD coming in, with Drummond coming in, and when Brown gets back. So it's going to take some time to get in that flow and get that rhythm back. And, we're kind of going through the same thing right now ourselves.
Yeah, to take you away from tonight's game just for a quick second, next weekend is Hall of Fame inductions. Obviously, Kobe will be part of that amazing class. Having played with him and now coaching guys like Paul and Kawhi who grew up watching Kobe. Do you see any elements of Kobe's game in the way that either of those guys play?
I think with Kawhi, just the mid range, some of the footwork. I think with PG, Kobe when he first came in, just the build, the athleticism they had. But as far as similarities, not too many, because like I said, Kobe he played in the triangle, so he didn't get a lot of chance to see his ball handling capabilities. But he can do all the and-one stuff, all the tricks, everything. But he kind of just condensed his game into, fitting the triangle and understanding what field wanted and what we needed for our team. So a couple things are the same, but overall, it's a lot of differences as well.
Thanks, Ty.
Thanks. Go to Law.
Hey Ty, how you feeling, man?
I'm good.
So I remember at the end of March, we were asking you about close games versus blowouts, and you said you'd rather blow teams out, as far as avoiding the close game question. But you guys haven't actually won a game by 20 points since April started. We're into May, and Paul George, he was actually talking about how team needs to be better to start games and how that would carry over through the end of games. Do you share that sentiment with Paul about, just the importance of getting back to blowing teams out again?
Well, you're not going to blow every team out. And, just talking to Noah Eagle today when I was doing Fox, he just told me that we're fourth in clutch minutes, since All-Star break. So we have gotten better. I know Cam was pretty, mad about that early on in the season, but I said it's going to take some time. And now we've gotten to that point where, we've been able to execute down the stretch, and, being fourth in the clutch minutes since All-Star break is pretty good for us, and we got to keep working on it. But you got to give all the credit to PG and Kawhi. A lot of film work with those guys and the spacing and just letting those guys understand that, you can still trust the pass. We know it's a lot on your shoulders in the games. You want to take over the games, but your teams are going to double team, teams are going to blitz. Just making that extra pass and making that play for your teammate, and just got to keep trusting. And so all the credit goes to those two guys.
Thanks. Looks like we have time for one last one. We'll go to Shane Young.
Hey Ty, hope all is well today. You've talked a lot this season about Shawn and Kenny Atkinson and the role they've played in player development this season, particularly with Terrence Mann. I'm curious, even with your team having a lot of veterans on it, how important have those additions to your staff been, do you think, this season?
Oh, very important. I think, every single day they call, guys getting their vitamins. And, Roy Rogers has been great with Zoo, just working with him and, keeping him fine-tuned. Shawn fine with the shooting with Terrence Mann. Kenny running the whole program, with Amir Coffey and, Luke Kennard staying ready because they're playing 4-on-4 and 5-on-5. Pat staying ready. And just having a program in place that every single day guys know what they're going to do, what they're doing, and it's all laid out for